up, YouTube? Doing a recording today about this new co-beta app that just released, and I'm going to go ahead and update my Android here, and this new app has a display, and also I believe you can actually program your controller without having to use a PC anymore. When I went on the website, they had removed all the PC files and the PC software, and now what we have is the app. So I'm gonna go ahead and go through this with you and configure mine. The update, the hex file I'm running on here is older than the current one that they have, like from November 24th. So I think I'm using something from October. So this will be a whole setup. I'm gonna do throttle calibration, motor calibration, and kind of go through the app. So let's get to it. We're gonna open up Chrome, and we're gonna go to the Moto. So on the Android, you'll have these three lines here. You can click those, and then down here you'll see Moto app option. It'll take you to this page. You can choose to download. It's going to give you about some errors about loading an APK that is not from the store or unsigned or whatever else. You're going to have to allow that stuff inside of Android. So we're going to go ahead and choose to install this. On my Android, inside my settings, I already said allow unknown apps to run, so we're good there. If you get a prompt that says you need to enable that, go ahead and enable that. All right, so now that we have the app installed, I switched over. This is actually day 2. I did a whole recording. The audio was kind of garbage because I forgot I had my waterproof GoPro mount on. So once we get into the Moto app, we're going to allow the Bluetooth. And if the code doesn't show up in here, sometimes you just need to turn it off, turn it back on, refresh. We saw the code pop up. We're going to connect. There's a connection error. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to go somewhere else where, you know, they've told me before, if there's too many Bluetooth devices around, it doesn't like to connect. So we're going to test that theory. We're just going to drive right out to some point and see if we can connect. Let's go down to the end of the street here. It's really cold. It is like 28 degrees, so no crazy business today. Just gonna be cold and slow. All right, if we refresh this now, it's not going to see the code. Oh, it does see it. There it is. All right, so we're going to go back to the house now because we're going to get the wheel off the ground. All right, so we're going to go ahead and continue on. I already did the update firmware, so I'm not going to do that. Basically, you can choose which model you have, which battery you have, update. I'm going to skip. And the throttle calibration, yeah, I recorded this already, but I'm going to do it again because, you know, it was a bad audio, so let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do this. It wants to pull and hold the throttle. Release. So that calibrates the throttle. Now it's going to ask for which motor we're dealing with, and here you can see I don't have the I have a Sur-Ron stock motor, the light B OEM, and it's asking for sprocket size. I do have 48 tooth. We're gonna hit next. It wants to switch to sport mode on the switch, and it says make sure your back wheel's off the ground. We're looking good. So just checking to see if I'm in danger doing this on my own. We're gonna confirm and start. Pull throttle and hold. And there you have it. We have calculated the tune. I'm going to quickly go through some of these settings real quick, and then we'll take it out and just verify if my GPS is working. So in the menu, you can see the max DC current, phase amps, RPM speed, eco mode, all that stuff. So phase current, if I do 166 or 165 or whatever, I think that's like 12 kilowatt or 10 kilowatt. The phase, I mean, you can get a ton of torque out here, 800 phase amps, but you know, that's kind of out of control torque, and I've been playing with that at 420, 425, which is basically like a BAC 4000. It comes like that from Moto Bros or whoever, and it just has better throttle control for doing wheelies or not being so jerky. So we'll do that. We'll leave the RPM speed there. The eco mode, the switch. So in EP mode, you can choose your own amps, and if you want to go back to stock or close to stock, you just go down to like 90 amps here. I kind of wish they had a way to type that in, but 90 amps, and then the phase amps is, obviously this is still just a percentage of whatever the sport mode is going to do. So it's just kind of calculated on the fly. So I'm going to do 425 phase. Oh, we'll just do 400 for EP mode. Since I just wanted to be stock, I'm going to give it the full speed. You can limit it your miles per hour by doing this. This is just how you can limit the RPM on the motor. So we're good there. We'll hit save. Oh wait, field weakening. We have a field weakening down here I didn't see, and it's set to maximum by default. I'm just going to set it in the middle at level 3. We save that, hear our beep. Our throttle, I have been using eco mode with a high sensitivity. This is a throttle curve, and so eco is just very gentle on the throttle, and line is just, you know, it looks just like that, where sport is super aggressive and snappy, and you got to be with line, you know, your sensitivity has to be different. But this is just what I've been playing with. Eco feels a lot like if you're higher RPMs in your throttle curve, like if you're using 100% throttle power at 500 and so on and so forth, eco feels more like stock to me than trying to adjust RPM percentage power. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I was doing 220 sensitivity, so I'll do that. And you can recalibrate the throttle here at any point. We'll save that. We'll go to motor. Here you can change the direction of the motor, the phase shift. You know, I'm not sure what that would do. If we click that, denotes the sensor encoder position. For best results, use the calibration to set this parameter automatically. So when you calibrate the motor like we just did, it sets that automatic, but it does have the option to do that, and you can recalibrate the motor at any point. Braking, you know, the brake sensors for the hand brakes to cut power when pressed or disabled. You know, so you disable that. A lot of people that do wheelies or anything like that will disable them. If I'm riding technical trails for the day and going downhill, I will usually enable that, just in case you start to whiskey throttle and you're holding the brake. It won't actually do anything when you're whiskey throttling. I like regen braking. A lot of people turn that off. The settings I use before was 25 and 30, but I'm going to try 20 and 25, what they have here. The continuous is how much regen when you let off the gas, and the max is how much total regen you can have. So it's a max amount. We'll go to advanced. In the AN setting, I've been using 6. This is all adjust like how the motor feels inside your bike. If it's like a vibrating or it feels unbalanced, I think that a lot of people play with this setting to fix that. So I've seen some people using 2. 6 has been what I've been using, so I'm going to keep it at that. The PID parameters I'm not going to mess with either. And then the controller, this is just informational, so we have everything that you'd need from the controller. It's capable of 400 amps, 800 phase amps. The firmware voltage that I've set it to is 60 volt, and the app version, and so on and so forth. We are good there, and that's the last setting. So now I would imagine that somewhere in here there's the advanced settings where you can change the throttle curve, right? So standstill, phase current, and that's the mapping up top there. So you can see how that straightens that out, like how much power you're going to get right from the ground. So 500 RPM down here, you know, 1500, these are the little adjustments that you can make to feel that curve. And they've changed this so that you can't like adjust each one individually. In fact, it's more like they've hard coded it to say your highest should be at 2500. I actually like this, you know, that's what mine was set at, like 2000 or something like that, to where it hit 100%. But so in this case I will do like 95%. Since I'm using eco throttle, I will use something like 95% and then gradually get up to the 100 at 2500 and then back down. Top speed, phase current, I'm going to leave all this stuff alone because we've already adjusted the phase current, so we're good there. If I close that and save, I think we're all good. So now it's just a matter of, does it actually show me my miles per hour this time? Because yesterday when I did this, it did not. So we'll just take it a quick jaunt around and wrap up the video. I'm gonna guess that it's not doing it. And it's not. So here you can see the RPMs, miles per hour. It's not moving. We're gonna try to fix this real quick. Settings, it's really cold, so my hands don't really touch this stuff very well. Moto, use precise, ask every time, allow only while using the app. So they've told me to do allow all the time, but in 2 different phones now on Android, I don't have an option to do allow all the time. So if I go back into the Moto location, again, you can see there's no option there to do that. Oh, maybe I just needed to switch to location and back off. So you can see now it's working. The display definitely does not look right. And also we can, when you change it to landscape like this, you get your miles and RPMs, your motor temp up here, and then up here we got controller temp as well. So nice to have all that information right there. Bike sounds good and feels good. So we'll wrap this video up. Hope this helps anybody. It looks like sometimes that the location might not work right out of the gate. You might have to switch over and switch back to it. But in this case, we're good to go. We've got it all set and dialed in. Hopefully I'll get another video out to you guys soon where I can actually do some riding and it's not freezing cold. So until then, catch you later.